Alright, you guys, welcome back to some more Hapymaher. Last episode, we ended up getting our first ending, which was the bad ending, and now we are going towards Yayoi's route, and I'm going to be continuing on with that. So we are now back in the tea room, which I'm assuming means we're dreaming. It was grand and luxurious, and had a color scheme that I could never get used to. As usual, the table was set for a tea party. Cakes and cream puffs, scones and multicolored jams, pies and tarts, fruits and biscuits. A lot of food. The black tea was fresh and was always warm and smelled pleasant. Everything was delicious. I don't know if it was well made or if I just had imagined it that way, but the sofa was quite comfortable and the carpet was thick and clearly high quality. But despite how luxurious the room was or the fact that I was free to use it, this wasn't a dream I wanted to have. And the reason for that? What do you mean? We love Maya. Maya is such a wonderful character, definitely doesn't have any evil intentions. No, none whatsoever. I was sitting at the table and happily sipping away at my black tea. Across from me was Maya sitting on her knees on the sofa with her elbows on the table peering at me. She didn't seem concerned at all with the sweets in front of her. The tea is good. Despite answering apathetically, Maya grinned, appearing satisfied. There was something reminiscent of a cat in how her eyes and mouth both curved like thin crescent moons. It was a look that suited her well. Yeah, well, circumstances have changed. You're a lot scarier looking now. Hey, you don't have the right to say you have no idea why. You know what you did to Saki the other night. I hate the stupid chair. It deflates on me. Oh, yeah, it definitely wasn't you. No way. Crazy. Hurt, if not you, then who did it? Yeah, that sounds like you're saying that to brush off responsibility. Hey Maya, even if Saki wished for that dream, it wasn't right for us just to watch it like that. In the time I took to blink, Maya, who had been on the other side of the table, suddenly appeared on my lap. She wasn't facing the side, instead she straddled my thighs and had her arms around my neck as if she was about to hug me. Hey Maya? I don't know. I feel like I'm like talking to the devil right now, where the devil's like sneaky, right? The devil wants to like kind of twist what really happened, twist your words too. Very, very sly, you know? I was thinking like, so cats kind of have eyes like that, but also snakes, and usually the devil's associated with a snake. I think they're kind of similar. You're making things up. There's no way that would be true. I don't know who would want to see a bad dream. A guide, huh? Hearing that made me consider that maybe Maya wasn't the villain behind everything after all. That's what I was saying. I don't know if she is. I think she's kind of being manipulated. I don't think she's the manipulator. I think she's the manipulated. I think there might be something else going on here. I don't know, though. I could be wrong about that. No, I have a theory. I'm not going to bring it up. I was looking at her collar, and you know how it loops? I'm like, it's an infinite thing. I'm like, maybe she's stuck here. Maybe she's stuck in a loop, and she can't get out. She's just kind of doomed to live in this little dining room area. Because that's the only place we really, like, seen her besides other dreams. Like, this is kind of like her dwelling, I guess you could say. Bad dreams and good dreams are both things contained in the mind of the dreamer, but if that's the case... In other words, you can show people bad dreams too, right? No one wanted to have bad dreams. That's what I'm saying, thank you. But if Maya wasn't creating the dreams... Okay, yes, we've established that these are dreams, okay? Maya smiled like a teacher praising a student who gave a good answer. So you're gonna try and say that the reason Alice was also watching was because it was a nightmare. Even if I assumed that Saki wanted me to know, she didn't have any idea who Alice was. There was no reason Saki would want her to see.
そう言ったでしょ、夢を見せることしかできないって。アリスがいたのだって夢が選んだことだもの。
So she chose a dream, and the dream wanted Alice to see it. How does that work?
どうしても無理ならきっとアリスは何も知ることはできなかったんじゃないかしら。
I think you're just trying to deceive me. That's what I'd say too after hearing all this bullshit. I'd be like, I think you're just trying to trick me right now. There's no basis to what Maya was saying in the first place. Maybe she was just saying things to try and confuse me.
そうかもしれないわね。そうだとしたらどうするの？
Well, if we think about a devilish character, what would be the best way to deceive somebody? Would it be telling a flat-out lie? I actually think that would be probably a less effective way than telling partial truths. I think when you want to really sell a lie, you tell partial truths, because people are going to be thinking, they're going to be questioning what you're saying, right? They're going to be going over it, seeing if there's logic to it. So if you throw a little bit of truth in there, their brain's going to say, oh, that's true. So what else they're saying must be true, right? Like, that's kind of how you trick somebody. I mean, not that I would know. But that's what I would assume. A character that's truly clever would slip mostly truth, sprinkled with a little bit of a lie. Or maybe say it in a way that kind of is deceptive and makes you think something different. Maya teasingly brought her face closer to mine. She was close enough that I could feel her breath. I turned away and Maya grinned.
本当に久々の二人っきりなんだから、そんな風に避けられると悲しいわ。
You appear old enough that you shouldn't cling to me like that. I don't know, she still looks really young, but that's... whatever. Though she was supposed to be the same age as Saki, her build was noticeably smaller. Yeah, it's called a lolly. A lolicon.
そうね。
That's what we are, apparently.
けど、私も少しくらいは女らしくなってるってことかしら。
No. I'd love to just tell her that no. Let's just troll her back. With a smile, Maya shifted so that she was sitting facing the side. Her position had changed, but the distance between us was almost the same.
それとも、私とこうしてるのは嫌なのかしら。
I mean, I would assume that he would prefer not to. I already knew the answer, and even though I knew that, it didn't stop Maya from teasing me. But then again, yeah, part of him probably likes being with Maya. I think he doesn't like the teasing and what comes of that, but I think and partly it kind of calls back to his childhood when they, I don't know, played together, I guess, or hung out. I'm gonna say I didn't like it. That made me a little disappointed in myself. Why couldn't I say I didn't like it had I still not let go of Maya? Yeah, I think there's this conflicting part. He's still holding on to the old Maya. Clearly this is a similar, right, but different Maya. You haven't appeared since I started dreaming like this, so why did you appear now? I was finally able to spit out those words. I had been thinking that ever since we reunited in this room, I had wanted to say it but couldn't work up the resolve. I would start to say it, but then I would waver. Ever since I started lucid dreaming, I had stopped dreaming about Maya.
私が誰の夢なのかくらい分かってるんでしょ？
That was obvious. It was me, without a doubt.
なのにわざわざ聞くの？それとも聞いて確認しておきたいのかしら？嬉しいの？悲しいの？傷つくの？
I wonder... okay, so let's go off the basis that this really is Toru's dream. Is this dream created because of his desire to save Maya from whatever happened in the woods that day? Is that kind of why? Like, this has been... I don't know if it necessarily was just created. It sounds like he used to have nightmares about losing her, and Saki was kind of aware of that. And then they kind of stopped for a while, and they kind of started happening again. I wonder what necessarily changed, and if this is like a newly created thing, kind of like they keep saying it might be, but I'm wondering if this has been around. I'm just trying to understand where... I just need more context about what happened to Maya. I mean, I could... I'm just not going to have answers right now. And it's frustrating.
泣いちゃうのかしら？
No, I wasn't going to cry. I'm just frustrated, okay? Yeah, shut up. My words, which didn't sound tough at all, made Maya giggle.
よかったわ。私の知ってるままで優しいだけで 弱くて頼りないのに強がっちゃうの。本当に何も変わってなくて安心したわ。
What I'm hearing is, oh, that's nice. I can still use you. I can still toy around with you. Still manipulate you. Gonna say anything
大
back.
丈夫。私はそんなところも大好きよ。
I looked genuinely happy as she said this. It made me a little bit worried about what kind of useless husk of a man she would have gotten stuck with if she were really alive. So he's saying that she's dead. Because that to me is implying that he thinks that she's dead. But is she dead? I know this is a dream, right? Like, so she could exist just in a dream, possibly. She could not be alive. But I'm wondering, I think she's still alive. I'm just gonna say that. I think she's still alive. I just don't see her being dead. I mean, I could see her just living in dreams, like I said, but I don't know. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that she's dreaming as well, and that she's still alive. But she's just kind of stuck somewhere, and we have to maybe save her. Would you have stayed by my side, beside my useless self, my whole life?
強がって私とさよならしようとして、そしたら変な夢を見るようになっちゃうようながとっても好きよ。
Why is our name blanked out? I've noticed they've done that a few times. I'm trying to understand what necessarily that's implying, you know? I feel like I could figure that out. I could understand that. Maybe it's not as complicated as I'm trying to make it out to be. I'm not gonna think about it too hard right now. There's definitely a lot this game makes me think about. I don't want to overthink it, I guess. Wasn't wrong. My lucid dreams weren't the result of me having stopped dreaming about Maya. I had lucid dreams because that was the only way I could stop myself from dreaming about Maya. Until that happened, far from being able to tell when a dream was a dream, I couldn't even tell when reality was reality. Who? Who are you really? I couldn't say those words. Why? Why can't you just say it? I want to know. I want you to ask questions like that because it'll give me more insight as to what's really happening. Whether she admitted it or denied it, I wouldn't know how to react to her response.
答えてあげてもいいけど、教えてあげないわ。
Okay, fair enough. I don't know what to say to that. Maya giggled, seemingly pleased with the result.
だって教えてあげない方がずっと困らせられるんですもの。ああ、その顔、かわいいわ、ほんと。
I feel like she's staring through the screen at me right now. I feel like she's looking at me, not Toru. She's looking at me. She knows I want to know more about what's going on. But it would trouble me so much more if she doesn't tell me. And she thinks it's adorable. Gradually, the surroundings went dark. I'd rather not. Maya called me something at the end, but I was not able to make it out as the dream came to an end. And then I woke up as an ordinary, everyday life arrived once more. Very sharp contrast here with what's going on. No matter what strange things happen in my dreams, nothing would change reality. Yeah, sure. I understood that all too well. I feel like this is foreshadowing. Walking to school. Let me be. Saki was once again. Was at my side again today as I walked to school. When I woke up today, Saki was already there, sitting next to my bed and looking down at me as I suffered. I like how he just says it like that, like I'm suffering. In other words, she didn't wake me up. Enjoyed watching my troubled face. She didn't have to be that similar. Even until now, she had only ever invaded my apartment about once a week, but lately it was every day. Maybe Saki was now anxious about having a dream like that. Not that what she had was similar to what I have to deal with. Why did you come again today? Dreams were dreams. Reality was reality. They keep saying this, and when they really try to hone in a point like that, I have a feeling it's just gonna merge. It's just gonna we're not going to know reality from dreams at some point. I think we're going to really have to try hard not to fall into some kind of despair, because it's unfortunately it seems like the dreams, when you're the dreamer, right, when you're having this kind of, it appears to be a pleasant dream, like in Saki's case, right, like she was imagining herself with Toru, and they were living a happy life together. It's not as it seems, and I have a feeling it's going to kind of blur together, and we're going to have to really try to figure out what's real and what's not at some point. If they don't go that direction, I'm going to be kind of disappointed, because I feel like that would just be a cool plot. But we'll see. We'll see. No matter how hard things might have been, there's no way it was okay to barge in the room of a man living alone. Yeah, you'll never know what you see.
どうしても何もあんな夢を兄さんが見てるって分かったのに放っておけるわけがないじゃない。今朝だってうなされてたくせに。
Yeah, thanks for waking me up. I mean, that's okay. We kind of need this time with Maya. I think this is really our time to like get to know what's going on. I mean, if we don't talk to her, we're not going to learn anything. Even though she's very careful about not giving out information too willy-nilly. I had been having a nightmare. Plus, Saki put my glasses on again this morning, and relieved at the feel of them, I was able to move again. Remembering that, I'd fixed the angle of my just-for-show glasses. Just imagining he's doing like the typical anime protagonist where he pushes it up with his middle finger. Feeling of having Saki put on my glasses for me, that reminded me that this was reality. If you can't leave me alone, then wake me up when I'm having a nightmare. Gosh. When we're talking about things that remind you that you're in reality, I'm just imagining Inception. If you haven't watched Inception, like, please go watch that movie. It's really good, and I feel like it would really get you hyped for a game like this. I don't know. That's kind of where I would base my information about what kind of story this would be, because it's very much something that focuses on dreams. I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to spoil it. It's an old movie though. I mean, it's from what, like 2010? It's like older than some people now. It's crazy.
だって可愛いんですもの。もうちょっと見ていたいってずっと思っちゃうんだもの。
Because she just kept thinking just a little longer. Of course it never ended. Saki looked a little apologetic, and I let out a sigh. I could let out sighs a lot while playing these games. Good grief. Maya and Saki both seem to be having so much fun, so why aren't I having fun? It's totally unfair. But even though I'm supposed to be able to choose my dreams to a certain extent, why do I always have nightmares?
そうは言うけど、兄さん。夢なんて勝手に見るものなんだから、選べる方がおかしいのよ。
I don't know, some people can, but lucid dreaming is a thing. I mean, that's not just a thing you'll find in a game. It's like, it's a real thing people can do. I would definitely say I've done it, not often. I mean, I just don't, I mean, so they say like during the night, a lot of people dream, you just don't remember it. So like, as far as dreams I actually remember, I don't really, unless I'm in a really good sleep, which I haven't really been having good sleep, but I've been in deep sleep lately, so I've had some weird dreams. Let's just say that. Maybe it's from playing this game. Maybe that's why I'm getting these weird dreams. They're not really too lucid, though. Starting to suspect that maybe what I was having wasn't actually a lucid dream, but since Saki didn't seem to remember the dream clearly, it clearly meant that I was still lucid dreaming. But until now, I'd been able to overwrite the contents of those dreams. I knew that there was no good or bad in dreams, that they were just a projection of one's desires. I mean, would you guys say that dreams are just a projection of your desires? I mean, you can definitely, like, manifest things that maybe you like in dreams. I've definitely had dreams of flying. I've always, like, wanted to just, like, fly through the air like a bird. I thought that would be pretty cool. I mean, not, like, flap my wings. I'm just imagining myself flapping my wings, and that would be weird. But I'm just saying, like, just being able to, like, Superman through the sky. That'd be cool, right? I don't know. I've definitely had, like, a lot of things I wouldn't want to happen in a dream. I wouldn't say they're just my desires. Instead of receiving my dreams passively, I had been able to willfully change them. For me, any dream where Maya appeared was a nightmare, or was supposed to be. Yeah, and I definitely think I would classify it as a nightmare, and I'd also say that it probably stems from trauma. So I wouldn't say it's a desire of yours to have it. I think it just kind of manifests itself because it's sitting in your subconscious, right? I think he feels guilty about whatever happened there. And yet lately, whenever I dreamed, I was in that room, and Maya was there grinning at me, asking me questions I didn't want to answer, and giving me a look like she understood everything. In the end, was that something I desired? Isaki, do I have the sort of personality that seems like I enjoy being tormented?
まさか兄さん自覚
Don't tell me you didn't know. Damn. Saki looked completely exasperated as though she were asking, what are you saying? That reaction made my chest ache.
なんで急にそんなことを気にしだしたの
I was a little hesitant to answer that, but Saki was already involved. Haltingly, I spoke. I told you that Maya appears in my dreams, and every time I ended up having a nightmare. Even though I'm not happy and don't find it fun when Maya appears, I wondered if maybe somewhere deep down I'm enjoying it. Saki looked away from me gloomily, as if unsure how to answer.
それはだって
After I finally managed to stop seeing her in my dreams after causing so much trouble with the people around me, even though it was a good thing that Maya wasn't appearing, why did I start dreaming about her again? I tried to sound tough, but only managed an empty laugh that sounded almost masochistic. I mean, I get it, even though I can't be entirely happy about it, somewhere in my heart I'm not against seeing Maya. Her tone and attitude hadn't changed at all, but when I think that maybe she would have grown up to be that way, when I wonder, what if she had lived, I think I feel a little happy. I thought it was pathetic. I was having nightmares every night, and every morning I woke up feeling barely rested. On top of that, even Saki was having the same dream now, and I didn't know why. It was far from fun for Saki, and her dreams, her heart had been laid bare for me and Alice to see, and yet I was happy to see Maya again. How selfish and inconsiderate could I be, even though I was causing so much trouble for
バ
Saki?
カね兄さん相変わらずのバカよ
So I kind of have a few thoughts about maybe what necessarily is going on there. I think it might be like a matter of... Sorry, I'm adjusting my camera a little bit. I think it might be a matter of he does want to see Maya again. I think there's a hole kind of in his heart from whatever happened, and maybe that event is unresolved. I also think part of it could be that he was told that Maya ended up, like, they didn't find her body, so he just assumes that she's dead and maybe she's still alive, just to go along with what I was talking about earlier. I think on the other hand, though, I think he actually does kind of enjoy seeing Maya again, because I think it's kind of a switch up from his normal life. I get the impression that Toru is somebody that maybe isn't happy with their life. Maybe it's a little too boring, it's a little too bland, you know? It's just kind of the same old, same old. And I'm saying that as somebody who feels like that a lot. I mean, I have a lot of wonderful things going on in my life, but at the same time, it's pretty slow. It can be kind of predictable, and the things that aren't predictable are just not really things I want to happen. It's not like fun fun surprises, right? It's usually just negative ones. So I get the impression that Toru is kind of the same. Not really exactly the same as me, but just maybe I felt similarly to maybe how he does. And so I think having all this stuff happen is kind of a welcome change. It's kind of like I never know what's going to happen next. He's literally like living out a story. You know, we're playing a novel to gain a story, and he's the one that's living that. And then maybe subconsciously he likes that, is what I'm trying to say. I don't think he likes being teased. I think he just likes that it's different, and he's experiencing something that shouldn't be possible, or that shouldn't be happening, but is. And maybe there's a part of him that's excited about that, and he just doesn't know. That's just my theory, though. I could be totally wrong. Who knows? I'm just telling you how I feel. As a response to my empty smile, Saki took my hand and squeezed. She hardly ever did things like this even when we were alone, let alone in front of people. But I squeezed back, grateful for her touch.
いくら困らせられても私たちがマイヤちゃんにまた会えて嬉しくないわけがないじゃない
Saki and I interlaced our fingers. Rather than being a romantic gesture, it's more like we were worried about letting go. But you...
大丈夫よ私はずっと兄さんの妹だから妹でいるから
It's very interesting hearing her say that and then seeing her dreams how she wanted it to be different. Saki.
だけどマイヤちゃんはもう私たちの前には現れない。帰ってこれなかったの。それは変わらないのよ、兄さん。
I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm really getting a strong impression that that's not how it's gonna be. Maya wasn't coming back. I had understood what that meant for a long time, both logically and emotionally. I was sure Saki didn't want to have to say that after all this time either, but now that we'd seen her again, I had to reaffirm it. Yeah, I see things going on here. I see things happening in the future. They're really trying to build it up like, nah, that's not gonna happen. I know better, okay? I know something's gonna happen. There's no good opportunity to let go, so I ended up coming all the way to school holding hands with Saki. It'll probably be fine. That optimistic wish naturally didn't come true. Hey, Tetsuya, nobody asked, okay? Tetsuya started talking to me even though it was the middle of class. He was probably trying to talk in a hushed voice, but it wasn't very quiet. What do you mean? I didn't have the energy to deal with him. Plus, like I said, it was the middle of class. You rascal. Tetsuya made it as if to poke me with his elbow. His misunderstanding was making my head hurt more. Where had he heard this? How did he know? Hey. No, because siblings definitely hold hands, okay? It happens. He had made it sound like he had heard it from somebody, but now he's getting pretty specific. Had he been watching? Tetsuya, are you a virgin? I need to know. You sound like one. I'm telling you, it's not like that. Did we start walking away? Oh, okay, oh, never mind, we're having a medical condition right now. I was thinking it's gonna be something funny, and here he is, like, about to pass out. I was about to apologize when my vision started to get murky. Not good, even though I was holding myself with my hands, I couldn't summon up any energy. Are we gonna become, frick, what is it when you just randomly, like, fall asleep? I mean, I forgot what that condition's called. I wonder if Maya's just gonna, like, make us kind of pass out so that we end up dreaming on purpose. Like, I wonder if that's kind of what she's gonna force us to do. Tetsuya's rare, panicked voice sounded like it was coming from a long ways in the distance. Then my vision went black. And, we're gonna be in dreamland, aren't we? I wonder if this is gonna be a temporary thing, or if this is gonna be where shit really goes down. Where we, like, just start dreaming constantly. I heard the sound of doors closing behind me. Before I knew it, I was standing in that room. There was the usual color scheme, as well as the smell of black tea, sweet pastries, and a hint of potpourri or something. As the smell of roasted honey and forest weren't present, I felt pretty calm even though I was in a dream. When Maya was around, for some reason, the smell of those nightmare flowers got really strong and made me dizzy, or maybe Maya was the source of that smell. Well, that aside. What are you doing here this time of day? As soon as I realized I was in that room, I met Alice's gaze as she stuffed a piece of pie in her mouth. She froze in place and looked at me. She was like a kid who had been caught snitching food. Isn't it supposed to be snatching? Why don't you go ahead and swallow that? She nodded and began to chew the pie in her mouth. I plopped myself down on the spot on the sofa. I leaned against the back and looked up at the ceiling. A deep sigh spilled from my mouth. Sure, but I can't help being tired. I sat up and massaged my brows. No matter how tired I was, I didn't want to keep acting so pathetic in front of someone whose origins I didn't know. I somehow aroused myself and sat up somewhat straight. Oh, no, don't worry. I just passed out in the middle of class. Don't worry about it. I'm doing fine. You know, healthy as a horse. There's something strange about me being tired about being dragged into dreams like this every night. Well, maybe I was the only one coming to this room, so I wasn't exactly being dragged, but still.
まあそうだよね。トールは私にはない事情とか抱えてそうだし。
Accepted the tea she offered me, and remembering those circumstances she didn't have, let out another sigh.
うわ、暗っ。ほら、もっと元気出さないと。
It's not that easy, and why are you so cheerful anyways? Aren't you worried? Was I the only one that had become involved like this?
不安って？
I'm the only one who has to suffer with these constantly. We're here, we might as well see a dream like we did with Saki's recently.
隠してることを夢に見たり、トラウマめいた相手に会ったり、それをトールたちに見られたり。
Alice made a sour face as she held her cup with both hands. Don't you think that might happen?
まあ、サキちゃんの夢を覗き見してしまった以上、同じことをされても仕方ないとは思うんですが。
I see, it can't be helped, huh? It can't be helped really apply to dreams, maybe normally, but when you could alter it as you please the way I could, it didn't seem like that. Come to think of it, Saki remembered having that dream, albeit
と
vaguely.
いうことはつまり、ここに来てるのが全員トールの妄想の産物じゃないってことが証明されたわけね。
At least Saki wasn't. That just meant Saki and I had the same dream.
私だってちゃんと本人ですよ。トールの望んだ妄想の美少女なんかじゃありません。
Well, darn. I was really hoping you were. I mean, you got pretty big boobs. I wouldn't be surprised if Toru imagined you. Fortunately, that hasn't been proven yet. Alice looked dissatisfied just because Saki and I share that dream doesn't necessarily mean that Alice exists somewhere else. Hey, do you really have, like, a body? It's like, damn, look at these things. They're, like, falling out of her clothes.
いや、なんと言いますか。確かに起きている間の記憶がないというか、気づけばいつもこの辺にいると言いますか。
I don't really know what I think Alice is. Is Alice just alive somewhere? And because I've yet to figure out, is this game, are we gonna like literally date characters that only exist in our dreams? Or is everybody actually in reality? And like I said, they're gonna kind of blend together maybe at some point. I'm not too sure. I really need to like have some theories confirmed before I start guessing like how things are gonna go down. Alice, we only have seen her in our dreams. We haven't even met the other character yet. There's supposed to be another character, another girl that I think we're supposed to be romancing, and we haven't even seen her yet. We're in chapter 3. It's like, what is she gonna pop up, okay? What do you mean you have no memories of when you're awake?
何その目。だからってトールの妄想が生み出した美少女じゃないんだから。
That's yet to be disproven. Don't call yourself a beautiful girl.
そっち？論点そっちじゃないと思うんだけど。だいたい私がトールの一部だったらこうして話してるのとかも一人芝居だよ。
Sometimes I imagine when Alice is talking that it's Misaki, and this makes this conversation so much better. He suddenly looked at me with a pitiful looking gaze.
それって結構寂しくない？
Yeah, well, a one-man show is pretty much what a dream is. Yeah, I guess in reality it would be. Unfortunately, I was used to that.
そうだけど、だったらそうじゃなくて、私もさきちゃんみたいに外から来た人って思っておく方がいいんじゃないかなって。ね。
I think logically it would be safe to assume that Alice is a real person, that she's connecting here by dreams. And I say that only because we don't see her all the time. And when we do see her, it's usually at times when I guess people would be sleeping. But right now is the middle of the day. If I had to venture a guess, I'm going to say that Alice is somebody in a coma. Because that would make sense why she would be asleep at night, and then why we're seeing her during the day as well. I think this is probably the first time we've seen her during the day. So, I mean, if she was someone that could be in the dreams anytime she wants, I would probably venture to say it's somebody who would be in a coma. That was the only thing that would make sense to me. That is, if she is a a person outside of the dreams. But who knows? Do you get what you're trying to say? Despite what I was saying, I never once thought of or treated Alice as if she was just a construct in my dreams. The main reason I thought this way because it was easier, just as Alice had said. I think she also seems like she has a really strong character, right? Like, she has a personality, she has thoughts, feelings, and emotions. That usually leads you to believe it's a person, and if there's a person that realistic in your dreams, you would think them to be a person outside of the dreams. I don't know, I don't think they would be this realistic, I guess, if they're in your dreams. At least, I don't know, people in my dreams aren't that realistic. I don't know, I don't think I could imagine them this way, you know? If that makes sense. Probably not. I wasn't completely certain that Alice wasn't an illusion, unlike Saki, and I had no intention of telling her that. But Alice, it looks like you were elegantly eating your pie and such before I came here. It looked like she was probably stuffing it in her face, but... If you have a body, then what are you doing sleeping at this hour? Okay, good, we're acknowledging this. Okay. Alice, who had been reaching for some pumpkin pie, suddenly stopped, much like a toy whose battery just ran out. Oh yeah, there's definitely something going on here, because she's kind of brushing it off like she doesn't know. Actually, yeah, okay. My theory about her being in a coma actually would make a lot of sense. Okay, so not just her being asleep during the day, right? But she doesn't remember her memories of when she's not dreaming. Because she's asleep. She doesn't have memories to remember. She only has the dreams to focus on. Okay, that's my theory. I'm going with it right now. Because there's a lot of evidence for it now. But it could be something different, right? That's just the most logical thing to me at this point. Like I was saying, I collapsed either from lack of sleep or more likely from fatigue. I think it's too strong of a coincidence. Probably didn't tell me anything. Okay, they're literally hinting at it right now. They're literally hinting at it. This game is hinting at a lot of things. I'm really curious to know if I'm on the right track with them, if I'm really like noticing things and pointing them out, or if they're really throwing me off and I'm totally wrong. Like, I would love to see. As if trying to win me over, Alice placed a slice of pie and a plate and offered it to me. Alright, Alice, we could be friends. You offer me pie, we can be friends. I thought you didn't have any memories of when you were awake. I accepted the pie. The color was a yellowish orange and had roasted pumpkin seeds on top. Ooh. Is this homemade pumpkin pie? Because that would be fire. Wow, brushing me off. Okay. Well, it's not like it's the first time, so I think it'll be fine, although I feel bad for people around me. I answered as I took a bite of my pie, but Alice seemed to think I'd answered half-assedly and grew sullen. I feel like Alice does that a lot too, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm used to it. Back when I first started having lucid dreams, I collapsed all the time. Oh, okay, so this is not unusual for him. But Alice was unconvinced. She stood up from her chair and walked over to me, putting her face near mine. Before I could ask what she was doing, she touched her forehead to mine. Alice's face was right in front of me. It was rare for someone besides Saki and Maya to be this close. I didn't know what to do, so I didn't move. I could tell my face was turning red. You have a pretty low body temperature. This is only more feeding into my theory, because I would imagine if you're just kind of resting, your body temperature would be lower, right? You're not getting moving, you're not getting your blood flowing. Alice? Despite my confusion, Alice removed her forehead from mine. Why did the girls around me defenselessly feel like my temperature like that? I mean, I would just imagine having dreams constantly is not getting good sleep. I mean, it would just leave you exhausted. I'm telling you it was nothing like that. If I had gotten a cold, Saki wouldn't have let me leave the apartment unless it was an emergency. But even if I did have a cold in reality, that didn't necessarily mean I'd have one here. I hadn't noticed that her body temperature was low at all. There was no guarantee that I wasn't unconsciously creating this sort of character, but maybe Alice was really just here visiting like Saki had.
あ、ゆっくりしていきなさい。ここには美味しい紅茶もお茶菓子も私という話し相手までいるんだから。
Are you just trying to get me involved because you're bored?
そんなことないよ。
Bullseye. Not that I knew how to wake up from here anyways. Ah, fine then, but if I eat all this now, I get the feeling I won't be able to eat lunch
何
again.
言ってるの？起きてる時は多分別腹。
You don't even remember when you're awake. Alice was at a loss for words. Obviously, you have a separate stomach when you're awake, but if you stuff yourself in a dream, it affects your appetite in reality. But despite knowing that, I practically inhaled the pumpkin pie because it was so delicious. Oh, it is pumpkin pie, yes! Frickin', I wish I was dreaming that up right now. Slices were quite big, too. Get some whipped cream on there? Yeah?
だけど暇とか言ってると、あの子がそれならとか言ってフラッと来そうだね。
Don't jinx us. Really felt like she might show up.
もう私とかさきちゃんは困らされてるけど、トール、あの子と話してる時楽しそうじゃない？
As if. I always thought I was usually frowning, but did I look like I was having fun to Alice? Maybe my mouth had been smiling like Maya had said. If so, I got the feeling I was beyond help. Even though we're talking about her, she hasn't appeared. To hide my self-loathing, I turned my gaze to the
そ
doors.
うだね。ふわーっと湧いてきて、トールの後ろとか膝の上に乗ってたりするのに。
Even as she said this, it wouldn't have been strange for Maya to be standing behind Alice or me. That was how it seemed to, she seemed to like to
だよ
appear.
ね。
My only theory for why that is that it's daytime right now. Maybe she only appears at night. I don't have any basis for why that would be. Because Alice, it seems like she appears at night too. So I wouldn't say it's like they can't appear together. I don't know. It could be that she's not dreaming. Maybe she's awake in reality. I don't know. You don't need to call her. Alice nodded.
よし。だ
That's
っ
a
た
good
らやっ
idea.
ぱり私がトールの話し相手になってあげるね。さ、なんでも。
Thanks, but wouldn't it be better to wake up if I could?
そうは言うけど、ここと外って時間の流れ方違うだろうし、急いで起きても学校終わってるかもよ。
Yeah, that's the thing. I've heard like when you have those really long dreams or really like detailed experience, you feel like you were in a dream forever. It's like it's only about 20 minutes at most. Don't say that. That had actually happened to me before. Sometimes I only dreamt for a short while, but when I woke up, hours had passed. On the other hand, there were times when a huge amount of time passed in my dream, but when I woke up, it had only been a little nap. I'd rather school not be over when I wake up. After I worried for a bit, I realized that Alice was looking at me with a very interested expression on her face. What's with that face?
トールの行ってる学校ってどんなとこかなって思ったの。
At those words, a thought suddenly struck me. Are you even familiar with school?
知ってるよ。
Why was that in question for me? You look about the same age as me, so you don't go to school.
だから起きてる時のこととかわかんないんだってば。だから知ってるけど、言ったこととか覚えてないんだって。
Yeah, I think she's in a coma, maybe has some kind of medical condition. I asked her if she was familiar with school specifically because I knew she didn't remember when she was awake. I gave a small sigh.
なんでいろいろその辺の話を聞かせてほしいと思ったんだけど。
Well, that's fine, I guess. School, huh? My school is a little strange, so I don't want you to go thinking it's
変
normal.
わってるって何が？今時番長がいて全国制覇を狙ってるとか、変形してロボットが出てくるとか。
What kind of anime have you been watching? Where does she get this strange knowledge from? Nothing that removed from reality, it just has an escalator system. Escalator, Alice parroted. Before the main building that I'm attending now, there's an annex school building that you go to that you pretty much automatically advance to the main
つ
building.
まり受験しなくていいの？
There's a token exam, but you need to take an entry exam in order to enter the annex building in the first place. You could say that the exams just came 3 years early. Though it wasn't like Tsukiyo Academy was that difficult of a school to enter, the facilities were good because it was 2 buildings, and the school traditions were pretty liberal. On the other hand, the punishments were severe if you got carried away, and the tuition wasn't cheap either. I think the school received money as part of a combined school test project, so the tuition is actually pretty affordable considering the quality of the facilities.
その本校って付属から上がってくるしか入れないの？
No, there's also an external exam, because not everyone who attends the annex building goes up to the main building. They accept outside applications. But President moved here in April and had been a part of the group that took the external exam. At the same time, Asahi took the normal entrance exam.
6年も同じ顔ぶれで飽きないのかな？
I mean, growing up, most people see their family for like their whole lives. Or that's part of what they're testing.
トールは飽きないの？
I don't know. I think there's a sense of familiarity, especially if you're like seeing people you know and growing up with them and seeing them develop as people. I think that could be kind of fun, but I don't know. It's really, I guess some people want change, some people want different. It just depends. Not really. I've never had many friends, anyways. Alice turned away from me, looking a little upset. I think in a situation like that, it would really depend on if you like the people around you. If you don't like the people around you, then having to be with them all the time would kind of suck. But on the other hand, if you like the people, then that would be kind of nice, being with them for so many years. I'm sure it's different for different people.
なんかごめんね。
It bothers me more if you apologize so seriously like that. Why did Alice seem to be in more pain than me, even though I was the one without many friends?
なんで友達いないの？私とはもう友達になってるくらいなのに。
Because I'm always gloomy and frowning when I'm awake. Apparently that makes me difficult to approach. Plus, even though they didn't know about my lucid dreaming, people were pretty aware that I had some sort of medical condition. Under these circumstances, you would need some magic in order to have a lot of friends. I don't think necessarily.
それだけが理由じゃなくて、普段から学校でサキちゃんとイチャイチャしてるからじゃなくて？
Hey, don't worry about that. We don't do that. I don't have a hard time believing that may be one of the reasons. An unsociable guy being taken care of by his little sister, with whom he may or may not be in love with, it just seemed like a hopeless case. At least I wouldn't want to approach someone like that, even though it was me.
だけど、少ないってことは友達いないわけじゃないんでしょ？それってどんな変わり者？
Oh, Tetsuya and Asahi? Don't call my friends weirdos, although they are. Especially Tetsuya and Club Prez. And poor Asahi, she was normal except for the fact that she was in a lovey-dovey relationship with Tetsuya. You want to hear about them?
私、友達ってトールしか記憶にないし。
Sorry about that.
本気で謝るな。起きればきっと友達たくさんいるんだからね。
That seemed likely considering her personality and looks. Is it really fun hearing about other people's friends? Alice's gaze was urging me to talk, so I opened my mouth. I actually feel like what she's saying is pretty common nowadays. Let's really think about it. Is it really fun hearing about other people's friends? I mean, there's a lot of personalities and people that we follow on social media nowadays. We follow them on YouTube or Twitch, you know. You like to watch personalities, you like to hear about their stories. And a lot of the times it's real experiences. I think of offline TV. I like offline TV a lot. I like to watch them. I like a few of the people in there, you know. I like to follow along with their lives, not like super close or anything, but I like to hear about certain experiences. Sometimes they're funny or relatable. And I think about how we kind of do that. Like those are experiences about other people's friends, and we're kind of living those through a screen, right? It's not like I consider any of those people that I watch my friends, even though I enjoy it, but I do like hearing about their stories sometimes. So I think even though they're not really your friends, sometimes it's fun hearing about other people's friends. Sometimes they can have interesting stories or things that you can get something out of. It doesn't have to be a first-hand experience to enjoy hearing about it. Alice's gaze was urging me to talk, so I opened my mouth. There's this guy called Tetsuya who's been my friend since we were in the annex building. Oh, thank goodness, we don't have to hear about that. I mean, I would be fine hearing a little bit more about, like, Tetsuya's story, but I don't know. I could hear the ticking of a clock, although I didn't know where it was. Even as I talked about Club Prez and Tetsuya and other things having to do with school, Maya didn't appear.
マヤちゃん、来ないんだね。
I like how we like don't like Maya sometimes. We don't like having her there because she's mischievous and just causes trouble. But now we're like, oh, she's not here, and kind of miss her. Better if she doesn't. It's not something for you to worry about. Despite having been thinking the same thing, Alice didn't need to say it out
だけど
loud.
ね、マイヤちゃんってトールとサキちゃんのこと大好きっていうのは伝わってくるのよ。
Oh yes, that's why she tortures us and wants us to stay in the dream world.
まああの子の愛情表現はさすがに私もどうかなと思うんだけど。
You have some issues? Maybe not with how she shows it now, but her attitude was always like that.
そうなんだ。
Well, time to see if I can wake up. I interrupted Alice, who looked like she had more to say, and stood up. I didn't want to talk about Maya anymore. No matter how many sweets we ate from the table, it would suddenly be full again. It neither increased nor decreased. And even though I got full immediately, Alice was still eating.
もうちょっとおしゃべりしようよ。暇なんだってば。
I collapsed in my classroom, you know. I'm sure I'm worrying everybody, so I want to hurry and wake up.
そうだね。だっていうのに、のんきにここでお菓子食べながら女の子とおしゃべりしてましたなんてのはまずいか。
Yeah, that would probably be a little bit weird if we said it like that, but you know, that's the truth. Better than me having a nightmare and worrying them even more, though. Alice nodded as she licked the ice cream from her fingers, then she stood up and tried the doorknobs. Those doors which were always locked when we tried to wake up.
開いた。
Apparently they weren't locked because the knobs turned and opened without issue. Maybe I'll be able to wake up if I go through
次の
here.
夢の始まりだったりして。
Don't say that. No, don't jinx it. Don't say that. What if it really happens?
そうしたら最後までちゃんと付き合ってあげるから。ってなんで嫌そうな顔するの？私と一緒にいるのがそんなに嫌か。
Now we're the ones teasing her. I'm just wary about this idea of the dream not ending. If I'm gonna see you anyways, I'd rather it wasn't a troublesome dream like this.
それどういう意味？
I'm saying it would be nicer just to hang out somewhere normally. Being frightened of Maya and worrying about having a strange dream were equally tiring. It would obviously be more fun not having to worry about something like that.
そうだね。
Despite her words, Alice's voice sounded somewhat lonely.
いいからいいから。それじゃドーンと言ってみ。
Oh, okay, you're just gonna throw your boobs in my face. Before I had a chance to even question the expression I saw on Alice's face, she pushed me through the door. Took a step into the darkness. I don't know. We're not gonna, like, be in some weird dream that tries to pose itself as reality, are we? Then there was nothing under my feet. I surrendered myself to the sensation of falling or rising, whatever it was, and then... Well, anyways, guys, that's it for this episode. See you next time. Just end it there. Like, oh, cliffhanger. Okay, I think we're in reality. This looks like reality. When I woke up, I found myself in a familiar place. The beds were divided by curtains, and there was the scent of chemicals I didn't smell very often. I was in bed in the school infirmary. Ah, glasses. When I touched my face and my glasses weren't there, I hurriedly reached the side but hit my hand against the metal guard in the side of the bed.
起きた。はい、メガネ。
You were trying to cross the border, weren't you? Every time I see this, you're awake, I just think of Skyrim, and I hate it. I just think of the stupid opening scene, and I think about the time I tried to mod the game, and I caused a bunch of glitches. So like I was in the carriage, you know, when you're first going to Skyrim, they're like, hey, you're awake. My carriage was like flipping around, it was like rotating like that, and it was glitching out like crazy. I did something with the mod, and it caused problems. It was really funny though. I didn't understand what was going on, but it was funny. Glasses were placed in my outstretched hand. Upon placing these just for show glasses on my face, I was finally able to relax and open my eyes. It's very interesting how he kind of talks about his glasses as if they're like a security blanket, you know, for him. It's kind of like a part of his identity, even though he doesn't need it. I blinked several times and noticed that there were fingerprints on my glasses. Then I realized who was there. Booyah. Let's go. For some reason, Clippress was smiling and waving at me. At first, I thought I was seeing things. I had collapsed during class, so I expected Saki to have showed up worried.
覚めたみたいね。
It was Club Prez, without a doubt. Oh, Ohio? Club Prez nodded and poked my cheek. What are you doing?
暇つぶし。というか、 なんか幸せそうな顔して寝ちゃっててつまんなかったわ。いい夢でも見てたの？
You could say it was alright. Yes, well, for the first time in a while, it wasn't too bad. All I did was chat with Alice over tea. Maya wasn't anywhere to be seen. Far from being a bad dream, there wasn't even any self-loathing involved, so you could easily call it a happy dream. I would. I think that's one of our better dreams for sure. Well, this wasn't a nightmare. I didn't know if she understood or not. More importantly, Club Prez, stop poking my cheek. What if somebody sees you?
大丈夫よ。他に誰もいないし。先生も今出てっちゃって留守番任されてるのよ。
That's still not a reason to poke my cheek. When I brushed her hand aside, Club Prez quickly stopped. She found someone you knew and decided to kill time by gazing at their sleeping face. Why does everyone like watching us sleep? Frickin' Saki and now Yayoi.
そうそう。さきちゃんが結構飽きないって言ってたじゃない？
No, don't learn from that witch. I remembered her saying something to that effect, but that had nothing to do with poking my cheek.
それにしてもドールってば寝顔は結構可愛いのね。
Yeah, I could be pretty cute, huh? Lopez put her hand on the bed and leaned towards me as I laid there. What are you doing?
保健室に男と女が二人きり。しかもベッドまであるし、何か間違いが起きたらどうするつもりかしら。
I think you're flirting with me. What if we turn those misunderstandings into something that's clearly obvious? You know what I mean? Her expression and words made my heart race, but I sighed to hide some of my feelings.
何その態度。なんかバカにされてるような気がしてくるんだけど。
I was. Judging from your personality, you would never risk being found
あら、
out.
もしかしたら見られちゃうかもしれない緊張感がたまらないタイプかもよ、私。
Gosh. The sexual tension is building. Like, she keeps, like, saying these things. It's kind of like, haha, funny at first, you know, you're joking. But once you say them enough times, it's like, are you joking? And get your thrills with someone other than me, please. Gosh, stop being a beta male. I hid the fact that my heart was pounding and bluntly turned her down. She gave me a disappointed, sullen expression. To put some distance between us, I sat up and leaned against the metal headboard of the bed. So why are you in the infirmary, Club Prez? You don't look like there's anything wrong with you. Being there was one thing. Since she didn't have a book or anything, it appears she just got bored.
あら、
You just get
女
bored.
の子が風邪でもないのに保健室にいる理由なんてそんなにあるわけないじゃない。
You're cutting glass, aren't you?
女の子の日よ。
When she said that, as a matter of fact, I failed to do a parry check and froze instead. Seeing this, Club Prez giggled. She got me
ま
good.
あね、冗談よ冗談。ドー
Yeah.
ルの言う通り、サボりでいいのよ。
I figured she was trolling us right there, but that was good. She got us. Don't make any weird jokes.
ごめんね。だけど、仕返ししたくなっちゃったんだもの。仕方ないじゃない。
Gosh, I forget. I can't, like, hold that down. I always try to do that. Even so, she didn't have to do it like that. And no matter how non-athletic you are, I don't think it's right for you to skip PE so
なる
much.
ほど、病弱キャラ。ハーフの優等生が病弱ってツボだと思わないかしら。
She's building her backstory right now. If I didn't know any better, I probably would have thought so. Actually, I really did wish I wasn't so familiar with what it was like to be sickly, then I would have been able to have a bittersweet time in club hanging around my beautiful blonde club
あ
president.
ら、なんでそんな悲しそうな顔してるの？
You can literally hang out with her right now. You have so much free time with her. Why do you need to do it in the club room? Why don't you just embrace that it's happening right now instead of complaining about it all the time? Because of you. Wow, okay, that sounded very, like, manly. It's because of you.
私って悪い女ね。
You know, that's a perfect description for you. I'm glad you're finally acknowledging your true self. I figured that out a long time ago is what I would have liked to say. Even if you were an honor student, if you skip PE, you won't get good grades. What will you do if you fail PE?
落としたらどうするじゃなくて、落とすならその分をどうすればいいかで考えればいいのよ。ないものは望んじゃいけないのよ。
Eh. This is why I sometimes thought Code Prez was scary. If she didn't have something, she didn't needlessly ask for it or depend on other people for it. She also didn't hesitate to sacrifice things if necessary. Doing things half-assed is easier, isn't it? This was something of a personal slogan of hers. That's not to say she actually did anything half-assed. Rather than aiming for perfection from the start, she always assessed what was possible and what wasn't, and dealt with things on a case-by-case basis. This is what she meant by half-assed. Why she was living like this or how she was living like this, it was all beyond me. I had a hunch that something must have happened for her to become like this. There had to be a reason for such proactive ambition. Well, I guess this has nothing to do with me.
大丈夫よ。トールたちに迷惑かけるようなことはしないから。
That wasn't what I meant. I didn't feel any need to correct her. After all, I had my hands full just dealing with lucid dreams and nightmares. I didn't have the intention of sticking my nose in out of sheer curiosity and getting
そ
burned.
れにいつも言ってるけど、トールってばそんないろいろ気にしてるとハゲるわよ。
I'm really curious to know what Yayoi's backstory is. I wonder if there's some... I wouldn't be surprised if all the girls in some way have some trauma or some unfulfilled desires. Maybe... I'm just curious to know how they became to be the person that they are. Yayoi seems to be a really big tease. I think she comes off as very confident, but maybe feels insecure inside. I think she does that kind of as a defense mechanism just to, I don't know, hide her true feelings sometimes. I think she opens up to Toru a lot. I feel like there's still more for us to see. There's still more, maybe more secrets, if you want to say it that way. But at least there's more to her character than we're seeing right now. And I'm really curious to know kind of more about her. Shave my head then.
それもったいないわ。きっと似合わないし、何よりさきちゃんが泣くわよ。
I wasn't so sure about that. There are quite a few bald guys in her family's company. She was probably used to them.
それで、トールこそなんでこんなところで寝てたの？仮病？
Okay, unlike you, we don't just go to the infirmary to get out of class, you know? We add an actual medical condition, okay? Collapsed in my classroom. If I were faking, then I'd be a pretty shameful person, wouldn't I?
痛いわね。保健の先生は疲労だろうから寝かしておけばいいって言ってたけど、何？つまり寝不足とか？
No, I have these stupid dreams every night that don't let me get sleep. No, I got plenty of sleep. I just didn't get any rest because of my dreams. Yeah, we were asleep for a while. It's just, that's a good way of putting it. We didn't get rest. We didn't get meaningful sleep. There's more of a mental fatigue than a physical fatigue. Because isn't when you're dreaming, that's when your brain is, like, doing stuff? Your brain is mentally active, even though you're sleeping?
ああ、ルシッドドリームのせいで頭は起きっぱなしになってたのね。
Yeah, I would imagine if your brain's constantly going during night and then you wake up and you have to be using your brain still, that would be very mentally exhausting. Wasn't something like this was out of the ordinary for me. But now that I was awake, I couldn't just lie there forever, so I moved to get out of the bed, but Club Press pushed me like, whoa, okay. Booyah. It was a light push, but I still ended up lying in the bed. Club Press.
どうせもうすぐお昼休みよ。それまでゆっくりしてなさい。
Is she gonna feed us? Yeah, yeah. She admonished me with an unbelievably gentle smile. It was such a gentle smile that it made me hesitate to ask if there was some reason behind it. My words were caught in my
悪
throat.
い夢のせいで寝てないんでしょ？眠れなくても私がここにいてあげるからゆっくり休みなさい。
Okay, okay, okay. Thanks. Other than some mild embarrassment, I had no reason to refuse. The bed was cozier than I thought, and the room was warm and comfortable too. On top of that, Club Press smelled nice, and it made me want to rest.
あら、素直じゃない。
Sometimes I am. I mean, after all, I'm in such a warm room with a beautiful senpai saying she's gonna stay by my side. Club Press blinked, slightly taken aback at my words. But the next moment, she regained her cool.
その美人の先輩に何かしてほしいことはあるかしら？お休みのキスとか。
You know, I'm sure Toru wouldn't mind. Ah. Disappointment. Imagine that, my face turned red again. I couldn't deny that I'd wondered for a moment if she would really do it. Then I remembered the recent dream I had with Saki asking me to kiss her. I heaved a sigh and settled into my bed.
まあいいわ。ゆっくり休みなさい。
Oh no, we're gonna fall asleep again. For some reason, Club Prez's voice was incredibly kind and she didn't tease me anymore. Oh no, are we gonna dream again? We're gonna see Maya this time? Oh, thank goodness. Okay, we're just chilling. As soon as lunch break started, Saki came into the infirmary. I thought it was too soon for her to show up if she stopped by my classroom first, but it turned out Club Press had texted her.
弥生先輩が兄さんを捕まえておいてくれて助かりました。いつもご飯いただいているし、このくらいお安いご用よ。
So her behavior earlier was to stop me from
ある
escaping.
ってば、ちょっと優しくしてあげただけであんな素直になっちゃって。可愛いったらないわ。
My face turned bright red. I wanted to roll over and run away from having looked so childish in front of Club Press for a moment. I wonder if Yayoi is gonna be a dom. I feel like very much she is. I'm sure if we had any H scenes with her, I'm sure that's the kind of person she would be.
兄さん、
I'm just
な
gonna
ん
throw
だか
that
んだ
out
で
there.
美人に弱いですから。
Yeah, that's true. Even though she didn't know the details, Saki looked at me coldly.
まあ、
Hey, stop
悪
judging me.
魔にうな
Don't
され
kink
てた
shame
わけ
me.
でもないみたいなんで、そこは良かったと思いますけど。
Yeah, that was a positive for once. Yeah, I was just lazing around in that room with Alice. I replied carelessly, then realized what I had said. Club Press tilted her head as if she were saying Alice. Looking let out a like she didn't care as the air in the room grew strangely tense.
それで、兄さん、アリスって女は結局どこの誰なんですか？
You see, okay, you see the smile right here? I feel like this is like a you better answer correctly kind of smile. It's a very deceiving one. Saki gave me her biggest smile. I could sense the danger was in the air. I was as good as dead. I don't know either. I could more or less understand why Saki would become involved in a dream where Maya appeared, but I didn't have a clue why that dream would have Alice, whom neither Saki nor I knew.
そのアリスって誰よ？不思議の国のアリス？
No, she said she doesn't actually know anything about herself. According to her, she just appears in dreams. Club Prez nodded and slurped her tea. What bad
と
manners.
いうか、あの女って何？なんでさきちゃんがその偏見にしてるのかちょっと気になるんだけどにゃ。
Oh gosh, now I got two girls just asking me questions. Club Prez looked at me like a cat who was about to be done in by her curiosity.
兄さんが話してもよければどうぞ。
I was about to ask Saki what I should do when she decided to cast me adrift. I couldn't get into too much detail, but Club Prez, this is just about a dream, okay?
ねえ、もちろん分かってるわ。
I feel like you understand nothing, but okay. Oh, I wondered about that, but I roughly explained the dreams I recently had. The nightmare I'd had, Alice, and the nightmare flowers. I didn't reveal the constants of the dream, but I talked about the fact that Saki and I had the same dream. I made a point to not tell Club Prez about Maya or the finer details of Saki's dream.
ふむふむ。同じ部屋に毎度出てくる女の子ね。そのどっちもトールは最近見始めたのよね。
Yes, that was correct. Yeah, I'd never seen the room or Alice before. At least I had no memory of having seen them since I started having lucid dreams. But my lucid dreams were an after effect of overcoming an earlier problem I once had. Because I try not to remember that time, I couldn't say with certainty that I'd never seen them before. It was possible that Alice in that room had both appeared in my dreams and Maya a long time ago.
それよりも今興味深いのは、さきちゃんとトールが同じ夢を見ていたってことよね。
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely strange. It doesn't happen. While it wasn't obvious, Club Press smiled, clearly amused by
同
this.
じような夢を見ただけの偶然でしょ？夢は寝てる間に見る記憶の整理って言うじゃないですか。
I can see that being partially true. I can see memories leaking into dreams. I don't think that dreams are entirely made of memories. I've definitely imagined things that were clearly not from any kind of memory. I mean, you could say that you put together memories. Like, I built dreams out of things I've seen and kind of made. It's just... I guess memory's kind of a part of it. I don't think that you're living a memory, though, is I guess what I'm saying. Because of me, Saki was quite knowledgeable about dreams, so she quickly dismissed the notion even though she experienced that shared dream firsthand.
まあね、私もその辺は分かってるんだけど、それでももしもっていうのがあるじゃない。
Is it really?
ないとする証拠はない程度かしら。
Cobra shrugged. Apparently, she had little intention of defending her crazy
た
theory.
だ、夢の研究って実は思ったよりも全然進んでないのよ。それに、トールみたいに見た夢のことを覚えている人なんてほとんどいないじゃない？
Yeah, I would imagine it's hard to study dreams. I wonder if there's more studies about people that have, like, drug-induced dreams. Like, very vivid ones that are, like, hallucinogenic. But even I might have dreams I don't remember. There's no guarantee that I was remembering every dream I had when I slept. Yeah, I've heard you don't, so aside from the lucid dreams I had, there might also be dreams I'd completely
そういうこ
forgotten.
と。で、世界中には60億人オーバー。それに、犬も夢を見るとか言われてるし、動物まで含めればそれ以上。
That is true.
それだけの数、夢は毎晩見られているのに、みんなそれを覚えているわけじゃないし、わざわざ夢の確認なんて誰もしないじゃない。
At this point, Saki seemed to realize what Club Prez was getting
ま
at.
さか弥生先輩はただ単に覚えていないだけで同じ夢を見ている人同士がいるかもしれないなん
その通り。だってそれが全くなかったなんて証拠もどこにもなかったじゃない。
I mean, that's true. We wouldn't really be able to know, right? It's conjecture at best, but we had at least one case that proved it to be possible, but this time there's evidence from Saki and me. Not only that, but I had a lucid dream, so I could remember my dreams better than most
そう
people.
いうこと。これでそのアリスもどこかにいて夢のことを覚えてたらこの説の信憑性が高まるのにね。
Not that you can reach a conclusion based on circumstantial evidence like our anecdotal accounts, but Prez seemed to
そう
agree.
は言いますけどあのアリスって女だって兄さんの理想が形になった夢の中の人じゃないんですか？
Not that too, but just now she flat out told me that she wasn't. I still believe that she might be someone created by my mind as a counterforce to Maya.
当たり前でしょ。それが兄さんの夢である以上素直に認めるわけがないじゃない。
I mean, Saki's right.
防衛意識だったらそりゃトールのことを守るために違うって言うわよね。その方がトールに都合がいいもの。
While I did consider that possibility, it was a shock hearing it come from the two of them.
そのアリスはトールにとってどうだった？苦手なタイプなの？
I thought a little. I definitely didn't dislike her. I mean, her boobs are really big. I mean, he could have imagined her. She was rather boisterous and sometimes a little too energetic, but I had a lot of people around me who weren't always the most upfront. In that sense, I certainly didn't dislike how open she was.
どうやらお気に入りと見たわ。
さっきも夢に出てきたって言うけど一体夢の中で何をしてたのやら。
Wouldn't you like to know? I didn't do anything besides what would I do in a dream anyway.
それこそ夢みたいに気持ちがいいことなんじゃないの？
There's a lot of things you could do in a dream, Toru. And I would say there's probably more things you could do in a dream. But Prez was straight to the point without her usual grin. Slightly appalled, Saki and I looked at her in silence. She just tilted her head.
だって最高のバーチャルでしょ。所詮夢なんだし、私ならもうゲーム感覚で好き勝手するわよ。まさかしてないの？
Saki's frigid stare hurt. Far from meeting that stare, I blocked her gaze with the palm of my hand. Why are we just subjecting ourselves to this?
兄さん
I think you and I have a different set of values. I haven't done it that much.
やだ聞いた？そんなにですって。ってことは少しはしたのよね。
Oh boy. Shut up. I can't help it. I'm a guy too, you know. I can't control my dreams perfectly, and I haven't recently, and I'm getting by somehow.
へえ。
Yayoi really wants to know. And then Saki looks very disappointed in us. Prez was smiling right at me, while Saki gave me a cold gaze from the side. I couldn't say that I hadn't seen Saki or Club Prez in my dreams, but I was prepared to take the knowledge of what I'd done and how far I'd gone with them to my grave.
次はその
Smart man.
アリスさんがお相手ですか。ふん、そうなの。へ
I don't know
え。
if I'd
現
say
実
that.
の相手をどうにかするだけじゃ物足りなくなって、ついに想像上の理想にまで。
I mean, isn't that what most anime fans do? Isn't that why we have waifus? They're literally just perfect women, or husbandos, and you know, either way, perfect men that just kind of have their own personality, but they just kind of fulfill your desire. They're kind of your ideal, and they'll just always be perfect in every way. Saki's icy attitude and Club Prez's crocodile tears made me want to cry. So I don't really blame a lot of people for liking anime characters or visual novel characters, because in some ways they're just better. I mean, it's kind of like a dream. You can do anything in a dream, and an imaginary character can do anything you want, right? They can be anybody you want. I should say it that way. I think there's a misunderstanding.
確かにトールの夢にしては乙女チックすぎる夢かしらとは思うわ。
Clubpress's fake tears stopped immediately as she said that. Saki had a
だ
sullen
っ
look.
てトールが思い描く部屋にしては随分少女趣味というか女の子っぽいじゃない？深層心理とかまで行くと知らないけど。
そういえば、お茶会の準備が整ってる綺麗な赤とか黒のお部屋だったかしら。
Yeah, definitely not something I would imagine him to have come up with. I definitely think it's an external thing. Maya had been messing with Saki, so Saki didn't have a moment to take a good look at the room. It seems she only vaguely remembered it. Yeah, it was more or less like that. But even though it was cute, it had surprisingly pragmatic furnishings. It definitely wasn't to my taste. The twisting vines, the nightmare roses, and the scent they gave off. With the exception of the smell of the forest from my trauma, everything else was stuff that made no sense in my dream. I definitely think it's more of a case of we are dreaming, but we're connecting to a dream of sorts, not necessarily something that we ourselves are creating, because I don't think that's something we would want to create.
その上、夢の中に出てきた女の子がアリスよ、アリス。どんなイメージよ。
I like how animated Yayoi is right now. Like, she's getting so excited about this. The press pointed at me and
確かに、夢だからって不思議の国のアリスをイメージするのは兄さんらしくないわね。
yeah, that'd be, I don't know. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I know about Alice in Wonderland too, you know. I think I'd seen Alice in the Blue Dress in a cartoon or something. I hadn't seen the more recent movie and I hadn't read the book either. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any of them. So I think that's kind of nice I'm going into this game because there's a lot of references I'm not going to get, I'm not going to understand, but I think in some ways I'm not going to be able to rely on those to kind of give me hints of what's coming. And you guys, I mean, at least a few of you kind of understand Alice in Wonderland, so maybe you will, and it'll be kind of interesting for you to see me try to figure it out. At least that's my take on it. That was the extent of my knowledge. It didn't make enough of an impression that I connected Alice with my dreams.
その辺がトールの抑圧された趣味ってんじゃないって主張したいんなら、夢が混ざってるのを受け入れておいた方が都合がいいんじゃない？
Sure, if that will help speed this conversation along so we don't have to keep getting tortured, then sure. Yeah, maybe, but it was certainly nicer to imagine that to be the case rather than my repressed desires had manifested it in the form of a person in my dreams. What if the dream sharing was just a product of my constant hesitation?
万が一、その夢の混戦っていうのがあり得たとして、なんでそんな。
Huh?
だから、兄さんと私だけならともかく、どうしてそのよく知らない女の夢が混ざってるの？
I don't know. I think dreams are a way to be creative and to experience things that you wouldn't see in reality. So I think it makes sense that there would be elements to it that are unfamiliar, like people or places. I think that would make it more interesting, right? Because like if you're gonna imagine a story, you're not just gonna write about your own story. You're not gonna write about just word for word the things you see around you. If you're writing a fantasy story, you want things to be things you've never seen before. I think the idea of being in an unfamiliar place can be scary, but at the same time, it makes for a good story. You want things to seem new to either you, the reader, or to the character that's in your story. You want things to be different. You know, there needs to be that level of curiosity, that level of desire for exploration, to see things, to really understand. I mean, I think that's what makes a great story, is when you don't have all the pieces at the start and you have to kind of put them together as you go. And that's kind of what I've noticed with Hapymaher. I mean, I've kind of had to do that, and that's what's been drawing me in so far. As it should. I mean, if it didn't, then I wouldn't be playing it, right? I had been wondering about that too. I don't know, but Club Press, if our dream sharing is real, then doesn't that just make things even stranger?
その通りよ。何？今更気づいたの？
I don't think it would be weird to have an unfamiliar room or to have an unfamiliar character there. I definitely think there's more to it than that, but just as for what they're talking about. Beautiful blonde in front of me popped the last lotus root of her chikuzeni into her mouth and munched away at it. Why are you even saying stuff that just makes the situation even
なん
stranger?
だろう、目の前に転がってる悩みの方を相談してよ。ほら、何か隠してることあるんでしょ？トールとサキちゃんだけの秘密とか。
Don't worry about it. You don't need to know. No, I can't say it. I don't want to. I refuse.
じゃあ悩み事増やしちゃったってしょうがないじゃない。
That doesn't make any
だ
sense.
ってそっちの方が面白そうじゃない。興味本位と好奇心よ。私は殺されるまで猫でいるつもりよ。
Interesting. That's a very curious sentence. With her teacup in hand, Club Perez let out a belch, even though she hadn't eaten that much.
そんな猫、いつかきっと好奇心をこじらせて死ぬわ。
Are you hinting at something, Saki?
それも自分で選んだ結果よね。
They better not be killing her off, because Yayoi is probably genuinely one of my favorite characters in this game. So they better not kill her off. I'll be pissed. I will be pissed. Press smiled as if to say she was fine with that. Seeing that smile made me want to object, even though it was a refreshing smile. Better not kill her off. I would not be happy about that. Well, today ended without incident. I'm going to end the video there, because that sounds like a great place to end. Today ended without incident, implying that there is going to be an incident. Anyways, a lot to take in this episode. A lot of just strong conversation. We had just some time to spend with Alice, kind of theorizing about how I think she might be in a coma. There was quite a few signs that led to that, like she's just kind of in a dream in the middle of the day. Ours was just circumstantial, and she doesn't remember her memories. Though she has memories of like what school and stuff, she doesn't have memories of going to school and things like that. She doesn't really remember, and so she's constantly bored. I think she's looking to entertain herself because she's just constantly asleep. That's just kind of my theory. I definitely think there's more to Yayoi's character. I think she has maybe some stuff in her past that she doesn't maybe want to go into. And I'm kind of curious to know more about that. It definitely seems like all the characters have a lot more kind of hidden behind in their backstory that I'm really excited to like get to know more about. I'm sure some of it will be hard for them to talk about though. And then just us talking with Saki and Yaoi. They're always trying to get me into trouble, asking me about dreams, asking if I've done stuff with them in dreams. Like, why you gotta do that to me? Anyways, though, pretty good episode overall. There's a lot of nice conversation, a lot of things to think about. So sometimes I like that when there's maybe just a little bit of talking and nothing too exciting. It'll help us build up for the action to come. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one.